Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Charisse Alexander, podcast host for Sacred Leadership with Charisse. But today I am here under the banner of WATT Renewable, and I am joined by Munachi Chianaka. Welcome, Muna.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much for joining me. Actually, again, this is the second time that we're doing this.
Yes,
but this time we're in person and we're doing it in a lovely studio. So we're super excited for you to join us here today. Today, myself and Muna, this is the lead up to International Women's Day, where the theme this year is about give to gain, rights, justice, action for all women and girls alike. And so as we were planning for International Women's Day and what did we want to talk about and what did we want to put out, Muna, do you remember what I'd said to you?
Yes.
What did I say?
No created or performative celebration. So it has to be authentic. It has to show like the demands that is needed right now.
Yes,
Society.
Indeed. And more importantly than that, I felt that in previous years, we were coming at it from a perspective of just celebrating those women out there that are presenting perfection, presenting polish. And to those of you who have it all together, I'm super happy for you. I'm extremely proud of you. But I, for one, do not have it all together 100% of the time. So this year we wanted to take a little bit of a different approach, and we wanted to celebrate the women out there who are carrying heavy burdens, who are carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders and maybe aren't seen, aren't heard, don't have a voice, and are in some ways very silenced. So this year, we decided to dig a little deeper and maybe talk a little bit about things that are not necessarily talked about as frequently as we would like to. And before I turn it over to you, Muna, I should probably go back a little bit where the real inspiration for this idea came from. I was sitting and reflecting one day, and I was thinking about my daughter. And my daughter, if you ever watch me on my podcast, you know that I talk about my kids all the time. But my daughter is this beautiful, bright, accomplished, amazing young woman who is 21 years old. And I was thinking, I'm like, how is she so confident at 21? Like, how does she know that what her worth is, what her value is, what she's not willing to, what her boundaries are, what she's willing to accept and what she's not willing to accept? And as I thought about this, I realized that the difference for my daughter is how well she knows she's loved. Full stop. I told her every single day how beautiful she was. I told her every single day how loved she was. And I wasn't even thinking about it in today's context. I was just thinking about it when I was 21 and what I was like at 21 and how I didn't have confidence and how I didn't know what my worth or my values were and how, you fast forward all these years later, and here's this young lady who solidly stands in who and what she is. And so then I started thinking about the women that I see and the women that I interact with. And maybe they grew up like me, where they didn't know their worth and they didn't know their value and they didn't know that they were loved. So Muna, I'm going to pose that question to you in the context of this environment. Growing up or in this environment today, what does that look like for a Nigerian girl or woman in the context of learning how to feel worth and value and love in this environment?
I believe in this environment, it's quite tough because the religion, I don't really want to put this place as religion, but the culture that we grew up in was some people grew up in was more of you need to think about what people would say. Mm-hmm. You need to think about what people would do if they see you doing this, if they see you doing that. They're like, take whatever that is and follow the rules and follow the way our ancestors had it back then. And it's more of the aspect whereby it has built to the extent that people don't actually know when to ask for help. Mm-hmm. And when to say, okay, yes, this has passed my boundaries. Because at that point in time whereby we are supposed to find ourselves, find our inner self when we are young, try to find what we love, try to find what we can take, what we cannot take. At that point in time, it was more of what our parents were telling us to do and what not to do. So it was more like, and I'm like, I'm not really saying it from my perspective, but I believe from what I've experienced, majority of the people that I speak to, and they are more of like, okay, yes, oh, my parents said this, my parents did this. That was when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And majority of the time, I notice my parents they don't always pose. They'll be like, oh, what do you want to do?
Mm.
They always want to hear what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's not more of, oh, we want to, apart from my father, but it's not more of, my father was like, oh, baby, you need to do what I want you to do. So we didn't really have much voice when we were young. And in the aspect of love, in the aspect of safety, yes, some people had it for the safety aspect, yes, but I think some people didn't.
Mm.
And it was quite tough.
Yeah.
So growing up, we tend to adapt and try to absorb a lot of pain, a lot of stigma, a lot of challenges, like regardless of wherever we are standing at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to say, okay, we'll just keep it to ourselves.
Yes.
As a strong woman that we are, please don't call me a strong woman. Yeah. As a strong woman that we are. So like it's more of, if someone tells you, oh, you are independent, oh, you're strong, we take it as, I don't mean to, don't get me wrong. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But people misunderstand that aspect. Because of a woman says, oh, because you see that a woman is embodying a lot of pain, embodying a lot of things, doing some tough things and all, you feel like, oh yes, it's coming from a strong aspect, or it's coming from the aspect that this lady is independent, she's high-end. But like, we forget to...
Do you think, sorry, I just want to interrupt for a second.
No problem.
Do you think that's a badge of honor in this environment, or any environment for that matter?
It is
where
a badge
it's
of honor.
Like, I'm so strong, I can take everything. I don't need help. I can do it all by myself. I will never cry. I will never break. It's a badge of honor.
It is.
Okay.
It is. And I feel like recently now, the Gen Zs are trying to,
shift that.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm a lady, and I'm not trying to take your position as a man.
Yeah.
I am not trying to say, oh, you're doing less than what I'm doing. But I just wanted to understand that this is who I am as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
This is the baggages that come with me as being a woman. And that's just it. And I feel like some people fail to understand that. So in the context of your foundation and the gift to gain that they say, the foundation that every woman deserves, like your daughter, you literally gave her that foundation. You gave her that light. You gave her that, how will I put it? That's a foundation that a lot of people find it difficult to get.
Yeah.
So whenever you get that, even when you're young, you're 19, I used to see some things on Instagram, and they'll be like, my daughter is like the woman that I wanted to be when I was her age. And
yes.
I'm like, that shows that you built that foundation for her. Like, you said things that enlightened her, sparked her encouragement, sparked everything that had to do with her. So if she sees something that is not in alignment with what she knows as a woman, she's like, no. And that way, I think that way also helps when people say, okay, they don't want help.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like people say they don't want help, but people, I feel like, let's not go forward. Let's come back. Let's come back. But honestly, like, from my own perspective, I think the culture actually shifts a lot of things. Like, it's made us women to like endure. And I don't mean enduring is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, please. But when you're enduring things that are not helping you grow, when you're enduring things that are not helping you be yourself, be authentic, that's when the issue lies. Mm-hmm. And that's when people feel like, but maybe if they notice that they changed, this is not what they're used to, they'll be like, okay, she's full of herself. You're not full of yourself.
Yeah.
You just know what you want. You just know that this is not right for you.
Yeah.
And that's just it.
And it's important that you made that distinction. I try to avoid things or language like this is right and this is wrong. There's zero judgment here. This is about what's in alignment with me versus what's in alignment for you. And when you made the point around, my daughter and the confidence that she has and so on and so forth. Trust me, I stand in awe of my own self. I'm like, geez, girl, you are so inspiring how you love yourself. I mean, this girl loves herself and no shame about it. How do we begin to shift that here in Nigeria? And let me be very clear. Let me make the distinction. When I say really love yourself, I mean from the tip of your toes to the top of your head, inside out, any which way, not performative loving yourself, truly loving yourself. Because truly loving yourself means, in my mind, that I'll speak my truth with love and compassion and empathy, but I can stand strong in it, regardless of the consequences, regardless if I lose friends, regardless if family abandons me, regardless of, relationships that might break down. I'm willing to stand strong in that, right? How do we begin to dissolve those barriers where women can begin to break down those walls and be more vulnerable and be more open to saying, hey, I need help. I'm struggling. I need help.
So I feel like we need to start from the aspect of realizing.
Awareness.
You need to realize that there is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact whereby I said, the people that, when I said the Gen Zs are taking that shift, because they've realized that is not working for them.
Mm-hmm.
This is not bringing out the best in me.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to take that first. And let me categorize it in the first one and the second one. I'll take it from the girls, the young girls. We need to start by encouraging them. Regardless of if this thing didn't work out for you when you were at their age, doesn't mean it's not going to work out for them at this age.
Yep.
So we need to encourage them, give them the love, give them the support, give them that. It's not only about words, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about action. Okay, yes, if I come to meet you and I tell you, oh, this is an issue, I'm trying to get your point and advice on this, and you pin it on, oh, it's not important, don't take it. And you know quite right that I went out of my way to come and meet you. This is something that I feel like people, I don't even know, but I feel from my perspective, a lot of women have this issue of not trying to fix people. I don't know from my perspective, because I feel like maybe they feel intimidated. They feel like, oh, this, a young lady is coming to meet me, telling me this, that she doesn't, and I'm like, girl, what do you know about at this age? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
So
yes,
these are
connecting.
the things that make ladies feel like, okay, they don't want to do what they want to do. They don't say, okay, let me keep it and let me do another thing that maybe the society wants me to do, the industry wants me to do, not knowing that is actually your ticket in becoming who you are supposed to be.
So just to rephrase that so I can make sure that I'm getting your point, I think what you're saying is part of that is maybe because it sounds like there's some resistance, right? Around maybe I shouldn't say something, maybe I shouldn't approach this person, and all the things we shouldn't do because of how it might be received, right? So maybe removing or losing the fear that we might have as individuals around saying, hey, did you ever think about this? Or even saying I'm really struggling with this thing that's going on right now. Can we talk about it? Is that what you mean? Losing that?
So we are not in the aspect of them, the fear. That fear is not coming from them. That fear is coming from the people that they meet.
Okay.
So the fear that the intimidation is coming from the people that they meet. So if I come and meet you with my challenges, or I'm having a crisis, or whatever it may be that I'm trying to navigate my life, and I meet you and I come to you as an adult, because I know that you've passed through the age that I've been in. I know that you've passed through the sentimental, all the things that as a young girl we face. And I meet you and I tell you, oh, this is, and you sideline the whole thing. You'll be like, oh, what do you know? Maybe when you get to this age, when you get to my age, you
I see what you're saying now.
You don't give that the feedback that is required for these young women to understand that you are literally, this is normal.
Yeah.
What you're feeling, how you're feeling is normal. And I want you to embody that. And I want you to use that and go further and do more.
Okay. That connects now what you're saying, which is really around when we are dealing with young people. So either young young ladies or
True.
young girls or whatever the case may be when they're bringing their challenges, that we not be dismissive about whatever they're experiencing, that we can learn how to hold space for each other so that you can unpack whatever it is that you need to unpack. So really creating safe spaces.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And so it sounds like for you, based on what I know, you were very, very fortunate to have that experience.
Yeah, I was. I was very fortunate and demanding.
You were demanding on yourself, or your father was demanding?
My father was demanding, so I went to my mom.
We all learned that one early.
I went to my mom, and my mom is always the soft talker. She's always like, don't worry, you get through this.
Yes.
Don't worry, if you need any help and any support, I'm here. That's how she was, like, throughout my young age. Like, I could make mistakes and I could come to meet her. And she'd be like, okay, that's fine. Let's move forward.
So she never made you dwell in it and sit in it for an extended period of time.
That's the thing. But my father, on the other hand, you can dwell on it for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, you will dwell on that. Like, even when you're getting married. So remember that time.
Oh, wow. So he like really holds on to it.
Truly. Oh, God. But honestly, what I learned and the environment and the background that I grew up in, I feel like it's made me at a young age to understand that I know my self-worth.
Yeah.
I know my safe space. I know how would I put it, how would I decipher or remove the fact that, okay, yes, this person is not for me. This person is for me.
Yeah.
I know all that. Like, I don't need to wait for long for me to come out as saying, oh, this person is not for me. Or maybe when they expect, because I used to before.
Yeah.
Back then, I used to be the type of person that, okay, yes, this person must have a reason why they're doing this. But now I'm like, but this doesn't sit with me.
Yeah.
I understand the fact that you need to put other people first, but
there's still a boundary on that.
There's a boundary to that. You can't extend yourself.
Yeah.
There's a breaking point that you get to and you'll be like, God, had I known, I think I literally am wearied out, like I'm worn out. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And you just break down.
And that's an important point, especially as women. I don't want to make it regional specific when I say specifically in this environment, but we're still in a transition phase globally. I say to my daughter, I said, this experience that you have here, I said, you have the idea that this is a global experience. And I'm talking about how free she is, how liberal she is, right? That's a very specific experience. But where I'm going with this is the responsibilities that come along with being a woman, and especially a woman in environments such as this one and other ones, globally and the like. And I think part of the challenge within that is, going back to what we were saying in the very beginning, which is this idea of like, I just have to manage it. I just have to grin and bear it. And how that really begins to wear down on you emotionally, right? And the full point that I'm trying to make here is it's natural as women for us want to give and nurture. That is not, we are not talking about changing that. We are not talking about stopping that. Let me be very, very clear. But there's something that someone had said to me a few months ago, and it was, if we don't give from our overflow, then you will inevitably build resentment. So in other words, we all know about filling our cup and making ourselves feel good and all that stuff. But if you imagine that you have a cup that's sitting on a plate, we should be constantly putting into that cup for ourselves, right? I tell the ladies in the office, I buy flowers for myself. I do not wait for anybody to buy me flowers. I love flowers. I will buy. I do not have any expectation that anybody is going to buy me flowers. Those are examples of how I fill my cup, right? It's little, but it makes me feel good. And once we have this overflow that's going on, you give from the overflow. If I give from my excess, I'm going to feel zero way about whether or not it comes back to me. And I think, the whole point of this conversation and this dialogue is we all have experiences that we go through, households that we live in, experiences that we go through in, our teenage years and young women that shape all of our experiences. And that's not to diminish any of them. It's not to say that you have bad parents. My household, I don't even think my household sounded like yours, right? But I love my parents, in case you're watching. But the point is there comes a point as an adult, man or woman, where you have to decide, okay, my past gave me experiences, but it doesn't have to shape me now. I can choose to move forward and start to fill my own cup. How do I begin to do that today so that I can start to feel good about who I am today and start to ultimately make decisions that empower you today, right?
Sure.
So I understand in this environment that might be tricky. You've had an experience that might not be like other people's experiences. What are some other things that so we've talked about talking, but what are some other things, right?
I feel some other things are like hobbies.
Okay.
And when I don't mean hobbies that you feel like, oh, you got from somebody, or you like what somebody is doing and you want to do it. No, I mean hobbies that come inside from you. Yeah. Like when we're small, I remember when I used to tell my mom that, oh, what was I like when I was small? Yeah. What do you think I like doing? And she'd be like, oh, I remember you like collecting money and you want to buy things for people. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, collecting money is a hobby.
She'd be like, I want to buy things for people and all that. And I've noticed that it has given me this, that I derive joy from giving people. Mm-hmm. I just derive the joy. Yeah. And people are like, oh, why are you doing? And I'm like, nothing. It's what makes me happy. Yeah. It might not make sense to you, but it makes sense to me. And I feel like we should get those hobbies, those little hobbies. Oh, like I like dressing up.
I was going to ask you, what's a hobby of yours?
I love dressing up. I can literally wake up around 3 a.m. and be like, what's that new dress that I got? Let me try it on. And
wow, really? At 3 a.m.? And do you just put the dress on, or is it like
I'll
full
put the dress,
everything?
Put my hair, and I'm like,
wow,
okay, this is nice. I'll rock it on Thursday. Anyways, so that's just it, and it gives me joy. It doesn't. Those are things that I know that people can't take from me. Yes, because they can't take that joy away from me, and it comes down to the fact that if you're talking about what the real support is, it has to come from you, because You've passed through a lot of challenges. You've passed through a lot of silent things that people don't know. Yes. So how exactly would another person know what you've been through? If not yourself being aware that, okay, yes, I have an issue. Let me go to the therapy. Let me go and do speak to someone, or in case you don't want to speak to your friends, let me go and speak to, like, have a conversation with your therapy and all that. So let them see how they can unleash whatever burden that you have.
It's interesting that you're bringing that up in this environment.
Therapy, right? People
well,
don't
just
do
because
that.
I know, right? Like, so that's why I'm asking, because like I like to ask questions. But I have asked, I've witnessed other Nigerians make commentary around therapy. I don't do that. What is that kind of thing? So you're saying it here, putting it out there. Do you think that it's that idea of resistance, and we don't talk about our problems, we don't talk about the things that weigh us down? Is that shifting in your mind?
I don't think so.
Okay. So there's still resistance.
There's still resistance. Okay. And that's why people don't know the importance of this thing. Yeah. And just to be clear, that's why we are doing this monthly campaign, that we want to bring in women and foundations that can help women understand this. Yes. Because if you don't understand that these foundations are there for you, they are against you. They don't want to use your pain or use your trauma and rub it on your face. That's not what they want to do. They want to help you understand that you've been through this. How can we pull you out? What can we do to pull you out? And that's what I said. Like, therapy is not, a lot of Nigerians, when you talk about therapy, they're like, this is what they want, my money. They will just use my gist and go to Insta blog. They'll go just use that blog and they will post it like, this person, you did not hear that. So there are a lot of things but the funny thing is, the point of all this is that we need to understand that these therapies they're not against you. We have this defensive mindset when it comes to Nigerians. We have this, I'm not going to lie, we have a mindset that, it's us that knows how to navigate what we want to do. But other people can help you do that. You don't need to do that on your own.
Well, if you think about it, it's a whole human journey. I don't know how you walk this life by yourself.
True.
And, some people might say, and I'm just going to go slightly religious here for a second.
Okay.
Some people might say, well, God walks with me. Yes, but God works through people. True. Right? And if you're not willing to, and that comes in many different ways, shapes, and forms, right? I think the reason why you're talking about talk therapy and like finding a place to unpack this stuff is so that, as you talked about, the organizations that exist to be that safe space for women is so that it can be done without judgment. It can be done in a way that you can feel safe to like really understand yourself more than anything else, right? Like I'm a big proponent of really understanding myself in every single circumstance. But the only way that you're going to be able to do that, I think, is either through a really solid support network that understands not only the cultural dynamics, but also what the other opportunities or options and modalities might be out there. And then, of course, with the mental health professional side of things, right?
Yes.
So thank you for bringing that up. I wasn't going to, but you went there, so.
I had to. But it's the funny thing is that this campaign that we are doing and everything, it's more of for us to understand that, like she said, these women that will be coming in to talk, they're going to, I want us to have a non-judgmental mindset about all this thing. I don't want to say, okay, these people are out of my money. I don't know. Do they actually pay? Do they pay for the foundation?
I think it depends on, no. So some of the foundations that we found they're free. They're resources,
yes,
right?
I think
it's information and resources. And I was actually going to say, like, before we keep talking about these foundations, which foundations? And what do they do?
So we will disclose that on our next post on WATT Renewables. We'll disclose that. We'll disclose the representative, one of the founders, and would address everything as it's going moving forward. So what do they do actually? They do a lot of things. The foundations that I've seen, I feel like they really resonate with what women are going through, basically in community-wise workplace. I don't know if we should speak on workplace.
No, it's not so much about workplace though, right? Like I think if we pull it out in a much broader context, it's really important, I think, to root and anchor this in the idea. And of course, with the International Women's Day campaign, right? Rights, justice, action for all. But the idea is like, I'm never going to change your mind about something. True. If you're rooted in an idea or a belief or a value, it's so much easier for me to change how I show up. And so the idea around this episode or this podcast, and then all the work that we're going to do with these organizations is around helping women to shift themselves first. Because if you shift yourself first, then either or my belief is that the things, people, places, and experiences around you will equally shift.
Sure.
Or you will simply level up and move yourself into a space and place that resonates more in alignment with what you desire. So again, I'm being very mindful about not wanting to make judgments, but it's really, and it's I think coming from a place of understanding that people have to be ready to want to be there. So a lot of the foundations and organizations that we've actively sought out, I mean, they talk about everything from like, just really beginning to understand the circumstances that people might find themselves in. Some are very obvious, such as, gender-based violence, domestic violence, those kinds of things. And then some are not so obvious. Some are as I would call them, the silent killers, right? And I'm being hyperbolic there. I don't mean killer. I mean just the silent things that erode self-worth and self-value. So as Muna said, we will divulge more shortly.
So I wanted us to touch more on, the aspect whereby they say motherhood is motherhood matters. Motherhood is a very beautiful thing to do. But the aspect whereby people feel like not everybody can do that. There are some people that they have issues trying to birth, trying to do a lot of things. And the fact that you have those issues doesn't remove you from being celebrated.
Indeed.
Because I that's what I wanted to touch that, because I feel like whenever people say, oh, International Women's Day, they're like, that excludes me. But that doesn't exclude. I feel like, yes, because, you're going through, yes, I'm a woman, but I'm going through some silent things. And those silent things are not really, this is not really what I want to be hearing right now. What I want to be hearing is, how can they support me? How can I get that real support?
Yes.
So, and I feel like the celebration definitely matters, but you getting that real support, like we've said in the past, it starts from you. And when it comes to you, it comes from people around you. Like you said, the people around you also can. And the best way for them to help you, like, see that support is for you to communicate.
Yes.
You have to communicate to them how they want you to come, how you want them to come into your life, how you want them to, help you, support you. Because I can be going through things and Sherry should not know, and I will just be there beside it, and next thing I just faint. Oh, God forbid. But next thing I faint and all, and you'll be like, but I've been talking to her and she didn't tell me this. Do you understand? So like, it's nobody's, how will I put it? I don't think definitely community plays a role. Definitely workplaces plays a role, but it's also you too. That's the thing. It's also you. You need to understand that support also before someone can give it to you. Just like, okay, you're going to the hospital. Where are you going to? You can't go to the hospital and say, oh, doctor, I'm here.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. Like, he'll tell you what exactly is the issue. Yeah. Do you understand?
I do.
Don't just assume that.
But I'm curious where this idea came from, that like, because you're absolutely right, right? Like people, I think it would surprise you how many people actually want to come alongside you, but don't necessarily know how to come in. Like, at work, I always say, I have an open door policy. Anything you want to unpack, my door is literally open. How many people use it, do you think?
Few.
Very few. Very, very few. And I think, and I don't know how to be any more relatable than I am. Any more open, any more vulnerable, any more sharing than I am. And the reality is to your point, I think you'd be surprised. So I think the message I would share here today is, if you're struggling with something, you have to be able to recognize who around you can support you in that journey. And I think you and I talked about this recently, about recognizing that sometimes not everybody's going to come along with you.
Sure.
Right? As much as you might want them to, you want to like go the whole walk with, the people you have known forever and ever. And sometimes the reality is you're going to grow, you're going to shift, you're going to evolve, you're going to change. And some of those people might very well not want to walk the walk with you. And you have to be willing to like allow that to happen, especially when you want something else for yourself.
Something better.
Yeah, indeed.
Self-realization.
Yeah. Well, it's not. I mean, if you think about it, I say to people all the time, there's nothing wrong with wanting more.
Sure.
But sometimes you can't take everybody with you on that journey. I don't know how else to say it other than that, right? Like, you can't always have all the people come along with you on what that looks like. So, do you think that, we started this conversation talking about growing up and self-worth and self-love and how that really shapes what we are willing to accept as we get older and things like that. And I think where it's probably, truth be told, most obvious and relatable for everybody is in relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's where we begin to say, this is what I'm willing to accept and this is what I'm not willing to accept. And so I think in a lot of ways, childhood really normalizes what we expect for ourselves when we grow up. So how do people begin to like recognize that, oh, this is something that happened when I was like, 10 or 12 years old, and that we continue to have these experiences that validate that. And now you're an adult. So how do we begin to recognize those things, do you think, here in this environment? Especially given the context that talk therapy and things like that are not like widely acceptable or even mainstream yet.
Honestly, from my perspective, I really don't know how we need to recognize that. I literally do not know.
Straight honest with it.
But I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
How I recognize mine.
Yes.
I speak to myself. I don't know if people do that. But
hello.
I can just be on my own and I'm like, okay, so why am I angry?
Oh, you do that?
Why am I feeling this way? I'm telling you,
yeah.
And it's like, oh, is it touching something that happened in the past? Does it have to? I just have a conversation with myself, and that makes things simple.
Okay.
And I think you've also told me this too. You told me this, that I think it makes you realize that what the issue is.
Yes.
Before you go back and start saying, okay, you want to unwrap and all those things. And I think that's what I do. For other people, I really don't know what best they can do to,
Yeah. Well, that's what I was asking, right? Because like I said, as you're aware, in North America and Europe and things like that, therapy is just something that...
True.
Therapy, life coaching, all this stuff is just like literally... any day of the week. Well, mental, it's just so prevalent, right? It's so widely accepted. And in other environments, it's maybe not, but that's a great idea. I mean, I talk to myself all the time. I say to people, I'm like, I think I'm the best conversationalist ever. So that's why I talk to myself all the time.
Yes.
So that's one thing. Is there anything else that you do?
Yeah. What do I do?
Just to like work yourself through something. If you're not willing to talk about it yet.
If I'm not willing to talk about it yet, I think I write it.
Okay. Yep.
I write it down. Then I see if that what I've written is actually something that I would need to talk about in the next 3 to 4 weeks, 1 month, or if I've seen something that has resonated with what I've written down. So I think I write it down and let it off my chest. So whenever, I write it down. So I just remember something. So whenever I write them down in my jotter and I'm like, oh, and I go through my diary and I see it and I'm like, oh, so you thought like that. You were feeling that way.
Yeah, it's true.
Must be nice because you're not feeling that way anymore.
You know what? You're so right about that because I've been journaling for like as long as I can remember. And sometimes if I find an old journal, I'll bring it out. I'll be like, oh my gosh, is this all I talked about? Like, what was wrong with me? Okay, so actually in a judgmental way, right? Because it's valuable because like you can see how much you've grown, how much you've changed, like what no longer serves you however many years later. So yeah, writing it down and keeping your journals, it now then becomes like your own novel, if you think about it. And really entertaining, actually.
Very. I remember I was going through my notes, my notepad, and I was like, that was 2023. And I was like, I want this, I need to do this. And I was like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing I was just blabbing there.
Yeah.
I was just pushing it.
We were just literally doing a verbal vomit.
Honestly. And now going back to like 2025, that was 2025 December when I saw it. I was like, Well, look at this. I think you've done a very good job.
Yes.
I think you've gone to so write those things down. They help you acknowledge that you've actually done something. Because honestly, what better way to write it down and see that you've actually grown than you putting it in your head and saying, okay, yes, I've done. You will literally, the issues around in the world will just overshadow those things that were actually the main cause of the issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And the important thing of what you said there, and I think that whether we're willing to admit it or not, I think that in our quiet moments, and I don't want to make this specific to women, I'm going to say as people, that we are often our own worst critic. Like there's a voice, let's just be straight. There's a voice in your head that's constantly whispering to you. And sometimes, like one day I journaled about this and I was like, I would never talk to a child this way. Never would I ever talk. Like, because I think I'd read somewhere, do this exercise. Like just think about your mental chatter. Would you ever talk, would I say the things that go on in my head to you? Never. I would never say them to you. I would never say them to a child. I would never utter those words outside to anyone else. But why do we somehow think it's really okay to talk to ourselves like that?
Because no one's listening.
You're listening.
True.
You're literally enforcing it in every single cell of your body, right? It's why when we catch those things, we got to stop ourselves and tell a different story to ourselves. So often, when I see people who are doing things that they're being where they're trying to minimize it, I will be like, I'm going to pause right now and I'm going to celebrate what you are doing right now. Because like, I can see this is uncomfortable for you. I can see that this is like a reach. And so the example I'm going to use here is like you talked about being vulnerable. And I was sitting with a friend, and this friend was like being very open in a way that they'd never been open before. And I was like literally sitting there in awe. And I was just like, wow, like, do you even see yourself right now? Like, I can see this is like really hard for you, because they'd already given me background of their story, how they didn't have a place to like express, how they grew up in a household that was very rigid and very, all of those things, right? And here this person is like really opening up in a very vulnerable way. And I just stopped and I said, you know what? I'm just going to stop you right now. And I'm going to celebrate that you're doing this. And I know this is hard. Keep doing that.
Sure.
You don't have to do it with everybody, because I know that's hard, but keep doing that. Don't stop. And even the next day, I sent them a text message. I was like, I really got to celebrate that, because we don't get enough of that.
True.
So when you find those people that see those teeny tiny steps that you are making every single day to like let the wall down and like be a little more vulnerable. And folks, let me be clear. I get it. It's Nigeria. It's challenging, but it's not impossible, right?
True.
So I want to, for those of you that are taking those teeny tiny small steps every single day to like, you know, let people in and share your story and share your journey, I bet you're going to find that everybody is going through something. Everybody is carrying something. This last week, somebody, and this idea keeps coming back to me, so I have to say it. Somebody asked me, do you know how many languages there are in the world? And I said, I don't know, hundreds. So I actually Googled it this morning because I wanted to know. There's something like 7,150 documented languages globally. And this person said to me, no, there's over 8 billion. And the point that they were trying to make is every single one of us have our own language that we are speaking, our own dialect, our own way that we receive information, and our own way that we give information. And so with that, you know, as we're talking about this thing about finding a space to soften, finding a space to be vulnerable. Because let's face it, in this environment, I hear it almost every single day about how people talk about how hard it is, how hard it is. I leave you with a thought. Did you ever think that as much as you say how hard it is, you were getting exactly what you were putting out there? Me, I wake up and I'm like, I'm going to be joyful today.
Oh.
I wake up and I'm like, I don't care what happens to me today. I am choosing to be joyful no matter what comes. So I'm going to ask you and anybody who else is watching, if you're going through it right now, like going through the shit, did you ever stop to think that maybe it's because you have an expectation that things are going to be hard and really challenging? And so we already talked about how as women, we conform to this idea that we have to manage it, that we have to muscle through it by fire or by force. There's all kinds of sayings that say you're going to grin and bear it. Who wants to have a grin and bear it life? Not me. Do you want that for yourself? Thank you. So let's have an expectation of something different. And it starts very small. It's not a magical pill. Let me be very clear with you. But everything starts here. All of it.
True. I remember when my mom used to tell me, I would say something like, I'm tired. She'd be like, take it back.
Right?
Take it back. What do you mean you're tired?
I love that.
I'm like, but I'm tired. I'm like, she'd be like, you're not tired, but you're standing here. You're talking to me. How do you feel? I'm like, okay. But I was tired. I know. I remember even when I'm with my team and I'm like, I just tell them, I remember when I'll just say something weird. And I'm like, no, God forbid. I take it back. I remember I remember if I would say, oh, I know he would say you take it back. So I just got used to it because my mom is always saying, take it back. And I just immediately, if a word that doesn't resonate with me in my head, I just take it back. I don't know why. It's now like something that is...
It's like that chatter we were talking about. Because now if you're saying it out loud, it's already in your head.
True.
Because you thought it. Then you actually had the power to like put it to words. And so it's as soon as you vocalize it, you're like, oh, wait, I actually put that out there. Let me take it back, right? So it begins before that.
True.
In your head, right? So you're going to counter that with, take it back.
Take it back.
And like, even when you use the example, I'm tired. Well, so here's the thing about rewiring new ideas is you can't say things are just simply not true. Your brain doesn't work like that. Okay. Your brain is going to argue against it. It tries to make truth of things that we don't understand. So for example, you say, I'm tired. Well, you could say, I'm at this moment in time tired, or I'm presently feeling tired, or I'm not feeling energized, right? Or things like that. So the reality is you're not owning it like a mantle of like, I am this thing, because I am is a very powerful statement. So if you say, I am tired, you're owning that versus I'm currently tired, right? Or I'm currently not feeling energized or something like that, right? And the reason I think why we're talking about the importance of like that self-talk is because that's where it all begins. And if you take away nothing else from today's dialogue, I think the most important thing to remember is it all begins with you. It might not seem like it, but really every new action that you take, direction in your life that you want to go, it doesn't come from outside of you. It comes wholly from you. So, we can bring the tools, we can bring the resources, the right people might begin to show up in your life, but ultimately you're the one who has to make the decision to like make those changes and like really start to love and value yourself. And again, this is not to say you did not experience love or value as a child. That is not what I'm saying. Let me be very, very clear. So Muna, I wanted to ask you or get your take on this, right? Because we're talking about the International Women's Day, and one of the themes is give to gain. What does that mean to you?
I think it's what we put out there is what you will is what will come back to you. So like, let me take for instance, and I'll still bring it back to what we spoke about foundation.
Yeah.
The gift that your parents gave you, the love, the safety, maybe not for everybody, but for some people, the safety, the love that they gave you is what is now showing right now. As you are being yourself, as your mom is, I'm so proud of you. Like the way you say to your daughter, I'm so proud of you. I know that. So that's what it's, those words, those things that you put to the support, everything that you give to a woman is what you're going to gain in tenfold when the right time to, whatever it may be, it might not be the right time, but whatever it may be, that's what, it's just like you sowing a seed. You're sowing a seed. You're watering the seed. You're putting the sunlight and everything. Imagine you just putting the seed and the roots, and under the soil, and
You just
it's
leave
just
it.
there. It will remain there till the time it will rot and
Nothing will happen.
So it's you give it the sunlight, you give it the water, you give it everything that it needs, and you would reap whatever that you have given.
Yeah.
And that's the gain. That's what we are gaining. So I just feel like it's more of, from my own perspective, from the way I live my life, I feel like it's more of, like I said, I'm a giver. I like to give. It's not something that I just do because I want to make people happy.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it's because I want to make myself happy.
Yes.
Like, I want to make myself.
I think there's science around it, right? Like, don't quote me on this, okay? But I'm just thinking about the things that I've read over the years. And I think that the science around it is that as humans, like, we all, because you ask people, like, what do you like to do? And like, oh, I'm such a giver. Everybody says it. Like, I'm such a giver. And I think the truth is like, if you think about it, I think that says a lot about humanity in general. Most people I meet, they enjoy doing things for other people because it makes you feel good. Right?
And I feel very
and I
good.
don't know the exact science behind it. I'm just saying I think there's science behind it, that there's a release of some kind of endorphin or whatever. But my point is like, test the theory. You know, like, I know, for example, if I'm like at the coffee shop and like somebody does something kind for me, and it's that whole pay it forward attitude, right, that you're talking about here, really. It's like somebody buys me a coffee, a complete stranger, don't know who they are. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so nice. Well, now I want to do it, right? Because somebody gave it to you. They paid it forward. So now I'm going to do it for someone else. Sometimes you win and it's only $2. Sometimes you lose and it's $30. But the point being is that it feels good to give. And I think that's where you're going with the whole Give to Gain campaign this year.
Yes. And for those people that don't feel like it's a good thing to give, that's where you need to visit the therapy, though, because I really don't understand why you don't feel joy in giving, honestly. Because God, even in the Bible, I'm still good.
It's okay.
In the Bible, it says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you."
Yeah,
good measures, pressed down. Like it's not something that is written just for writing's sake. It's something that happens.
I allow you to consider something. What if they don't know what it looks like to give because they were never given to? They don't know what it looks like to receive, right? So, and what I mean when I say that, I was struggling with an idea. I think it was last year. And it was like, honestly, I was feeling super upset. Not upset. I was losing my faith in the collective. And, you have those days, okay? I'm human.
Sure.
And I was just like, I literally was like, dear God, just show me what love looks like. Like, just show me kindness, like anything. Just show me something so I still have faith in this thing. And it's how you choose to look for it. Because society, media, social media, TV, all these things, they condition you to look for things in a very specific way. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is on this particular day where I was feeling less than motivated about the human spirit, I put this intention out there. I need you to show me what love looks like today. And I was here in Nigeria, of all places, and I was in traffic, and I see this couple on the street, and they're sharing a very intimate moment. And I don't mean intimate as in inappropriate. I mean, they were holding hands and they were like standing close. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Right? So the point I'm getting at is like, at first, when I put the intention out there, I was saying, get someone to show love to me. But instead, what I saw and was able to recognize is, yes, it does exist. You have to look for it in different ways. You have to train yourself to expand your awareness so that you can begin to know what it looks like. And coming back to the giving, sometimes we assume that people have the exact same, like, we know logically that they don't, but I mean, sometimes we forget that your experience and my experience were not at all the same.
Sure.
So your idea of receiving and giving is going to be very different than my idea of giving and receiving. So I think what I would offer here is that we need to be able to also take a step back and allow for the fact that these things are all going to look, that's why I brought up the language model. 8 billion, right? 8 billion. That's complex when you think about it. And if you walk around in life, I think really holding that idea that we have 8 billion language models, then you're understanding, because language and communication are a two-way street. There's giving and there's also receiving. So then that means that my comprehension of the environment is also going to be molded by my own unique experience, right? That's the only reason I brought that up. But yes, start giving.
Yeah. But yes, I understand your point. And that also comes back to the way you realize that you want to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
I need God to show me that. And that's the same thing that, okay, yes, even if you say, okay, yes, give to gain, even if you say, okay, you don't know how it's like, what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like, from my perspective, I feel like people you can ask for it.
Yeah.
Because you asked for it and you were like, please, even though it did not come the way you wanted it to come, at least you saw it.
Yes. But I also think that takes work. And I'm just being really honest with it, right? Because people put requests out all the time, right? Like, we're in an environment that is very rooted in religion, so we can talk about this a little bit. But people put intentions out there all the time, and they have an expectation of how they're going to get it. And I find myself this week particularly, right, having this conversation where I'm hearing complaints and I'm saying, hey, we are lucky to be having these challenges that we're talking about, because 6, 7, 8 years ago, we would have felt so blessed to have the challenges that we're having today. And the point that I'm trying to get at is, like, it takes training, like really being very conscious and very intentional is the point that I'm trying to make, right? When we're asking for these things and we're putting those things out there. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. When it comes to, like, coming back to, like, this whole theme around rights, justice, action for all, and give to gain, like, how do you think, because, you and I had some conversations that, like, you really didn't want me to have, right? And I'm not going to have them here. But just, reminding you of that conversation. How do we, I guess, support those? Because, we're talking about, like, maybe the people that we see in our workplace, in our, our friend circles, our family circles. Those ones are, believe it or not, easy enough to, like, say, hey, I'm here, I'm open, like, you can unpack here with me. What about in the communities where that might not be so easy? You don't have to fully unpack it. But, like, I think what I'm asking is, how do we open a space so that can be, maybe not in a very direct way, but, like, how do we make that more accessible? I think you know what I'm trying to say.
I feel like we should try not to be dismissive. So, and I feel like it's still you. So you can feel that this person might not give you your support.
Yeah.
But that's not true. That person might give you the support, and it's still you. It's still both. And I understand when you said, okay, like, if I'm getting you right, you said, please repeat the question.
Yeah, I said, how can we, in communities, so I'm talking about the women. So there's two factions here, right?
Yeah,
there's the women that are easily accessible.
Yes.
Our friends, our family, our workplace, so on and so forth. Where realistically, you can go back to the office and you can say, like, hey, if I haven't said it before, I'm here for you, right? There's that. And then there's the other women who are really carrying heavy, heavy things and might not, and you wouldn't know, right? Like, and they're not as easily accessible. What are your ideas around, like, how you make that more? Because they're not going to, their circle is not necessarily going to have what you and I have been talking about today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it boils down to the privileged women.
Yeah, okay.
And the non-privileged women. So the funny thing about the non-privileged women is that I feel like they don't know that they are more than some certain things.
Okay. Yep.
I don't think they know that they're more than the pain or whatever they're going through. And I want to connect the dots with everything that we have said today. It's still you. It's still the surrounding you're in. If you know you are not in that, if you know that space you're in or the circle that you're in, it's not adequate or you don't want to be in that circle, you can decide to move.
Mm.
And I mean, okay, yes, it's very different. It's very difficult for them to get that support to move. And that's why we have women foundations. And that's why we have women shelters that can help.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we're even doing this here.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're doing this because we want those people to know that you are seen, you are heard.
Yes.
And regardless of how difficult it may be that you feel like, oh, there's no support, there is support.
Yeah.
And we don't want that saying of saying, oh, we are suffering through this, we need to get through this on your own.
Manage it.
Yeah. There are supports out there.
Yeah.
You need to look for it. You need to look for what aligns with whatever struggle you're going through. And I feel like that's how you can, overcome whatever that it is, or maybe get your support that you need.
And if you had to speak very directly to those women today, what would you say? Is that what you would say, or is there anything else that you would say?
I think that's what I would say.
Okay.
Like, just know yourself, be self-aware.
Yeah.
Reflect more. And reflect more not in the aspect of you're reflecting because for reflecting, say reflect that you're trying to find more purpose in yourself. And that's what I would just say. Like, have this open mind that everything is going to be fine. Have this mindset that things are not going to remain the same way they are supposed to. Yeah. Because I was in that space where I always thought that, oh, this was the way things are going to be. But it wasn't. Yeah. So have an open mind.
Yeah. And with that, I think I would follow up on that. And I would say that, this particular International Women's Day, it was really important to me that we take a very different look and a very different angle at what it means to celebrate women. So how I would leave this is I would say, for those of you who do not feel seen, we see you, we are here for you, and we hold space for you. So with that, happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.